Hey boys, Mr. Turnbull here, back with another video lesson. This one's video lesson today is going to be on two topics. It's going to be considerably shorter than some of the other video lessons because most of the work that you're going to be doing on these particular two topics is a little bit more independent work. So only a few notes to be taken from me today. And that is on unhealthy diet and the digestive system. So following on, for those of you that are interested and references, etc., this is page 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 of the textbook. So it's those two spreads that we're going to be looking at today. Okay, now last week we looked at a balanced diet, what sort of things you need for a balanced diet: vitamins, minerals, lipids, proteins, etc. The first part of our little video lesson today is going to be what can happen if you get too much or not enough of those healthy of those food types. So if you eat the right amounts and you eat what you're supposed to eat, that is obviously having a healthy diet. There are two different types of unhealthy diet that you can get. Okay, so there are our first little notes. ALT diet. Okay, so the first type, the first effect of an unhealthy diet is starvation. And that is when, obviously, you guys will know this, is when you don't get enough of particular nutrients that you need. So you don't get enough protein, you don't get enough fats, you don't get enough lipids, you don't get enough of vitamins and minerals, all of those sort of things. Okay, and the effects that starvation can have, I mean, it depends person to person, but you can suffer immune deficiency. Okay, obviously you get energy from your food, so you can suffer from tiredness due to a lack of energy. Okay, and obviously you can have a lack of vitamins, and part of that, the lack of vitamins, I'm just going to star that one. That's what a main part of your homework is going to be about looking at today. All right, so that is if you don't eat enough and you have an unhealthy diet from lack of food. And the opposite of that, the opposite of starvation, is obesity, and that is when you get too much food and your body doesn't break it all down and it starts having a negative effect. And that can lead to a lot of things as well. Most commonly it can lead to heart disease. Okay, it can lead to strokes. It can lead to diabetes, and it can lead to cancers as well. So they can be potential causes, potential side effects of obesity. If you're too obese, you can have any one or multiple of those things as well. And then the last one, which I'm just going to put at the side, which is not part of obesity, is if you have a lack of vitamins and minerals. Okay, that can lead to deficiencies as well. Alright, so if you have a lack of vitamins and minerals, that can lead to deficiencies, and that can cause other diseases as well. Alright. Okay, so a lack of vitamins and minerals can cause some other diseases. Let me just adjust this a little bit. There we go, it's a little bit more focused. All right, so obviously unhealthy diet, starvation, obesity, lack of vitamins and minerals. Now obviously with a healthy diet as well, you need a certain amount of energy, and the amount of energy you need depends on the sort of physical activity that you do, how much you do in your job, how old you are, whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, etc. And you guys need to be aware and be able to compare the different types of energy requirements for different classes and different groups of people. So what I'd like you guys to do for that one, obviously I'd just like you to pause the video or leave a little bit of a space for it. I'd just like you to draw the graph on page 9, okay, in your exercise book underneath these notes, because you need to know, like I said, about the different amounts of energy for that. But I'm obviously not going to draw that down because that'd take me a little bit too long. I don't want this video to be too long today. Right, so if you want to pause the video here and go and just draw that graph down, that'd be really useful. Again, like I said, you need to be aware of a comparison of them. Okay, and then when you come back, we're going to have a look at the digestive system. So if you want to pause it now. Okay, so hopefully you pause the video and you've got that done, and we're going to have a look at the digestive system real briefly. Okay, so like I said, I believe the digestive system is on page 10 and 11. Now there is a diagram of the digestive system there, and I'm not going to go through the digestive system in too much detail with you guys, simply because your task this week is not like a review of what we've done in class and apply it. It is essentially a research the information yourself and complete an activity task, so I'm not going to do too much of it. Alright, but the key function of the digestive system obviously is to break down your food, and that is because food contains large molecules and they need to be broken down into smaller molecules so that they can be processed by your cells, etc., etc. And that is what essentially most of the parts of the digestive system are for. Okay, it breaks large molecules down into smaller molecules Okay, so like I said, your main task for your homework this week, once you've done the stuff on diseases for an unhealthy diet, is to do a kind of research task. There's a worksheet that goes with it that's attached on Show 'em Homework that goes through the structure and function of the different parts of the digestive system. So I'm not going to do that in this video today. That's work for you guys to look at and do. But there is one extra bit that I'd like to spend a little bit more time on, because it's something that students tend to mess up with and not get their head around. Now, the small intestine, you don't have to jot this particular bit down, but the small intestine, that is where those molecules are absorbed. Okay, so your stomach and everything breaks those molecules down. I mean, you can jot that down if you want, but the small intestine is where those molecules get absorbed. All right, and obviously your body's very efficient. It wants to absorb as much nutrients as it can, as efficiently as it can. So what it does is the walls of the intestine are lined with what we call villi, and that's a key word. You need to know what they are. Okay, and they're kind of folds of lining, of intestinal wall lining. Okay, they're folds of the intestine wall lining, and the purpose of them, okay, and this is really key, is to increase the surface area so more molecules are absorbed. Okay, to show you as an example, say we had, you don't have to draw all of this, but say we had, that was oversimplification, say we've got, that's the wall of the intestine, all right, the molecules travel through, okay, and then they go here and then into the blood. Okay, so those food molecules pass through the intestinal wall, but they can only pass through this amount of space, all right, however long that happens to be. The longer it is, the more molecules can be absorbed. So what the villi do is essentially, if you've got your same sort of length, like I said, this is an oversimplification, the villi kind of look like this. If you was to zoom in on it, I think there's a picture, a microscopic picture of what the villi look like really close up in the textbook. Obviously I've drawn this really badly, but you get the idea. Okay. So these two bits here are approximately the same length, but this one with the villi in it has got a much larger surface area, so a lot more molecules can pass through into the bloodstream. All right. If I was to stretch this wall out, if it was a piece of string or a spring or something, it would stretch, go off the edge of the page and end up over here where you can't even see it. Okay, it's a very efficient way of creating a large amount of surface area in a very small space, is to squish it all together, and that's essentially what the villi do. Okay, so very important point, and it's, like I said, it's something that the students mess up with quite a bit when they're answering questions on the digestive system. The function of the villi, okay, is to massively increase the surface area of the small intestine, so more food molecules can be absorbed into the bloodstream. Okay. So, like I said, boys, shorter video today, and only one, because the work you need to do is a lot more independent with this particular task. It should be fairly self-explanatory on both worksheets what you need to do. The worksheet with the unhealthy diet, that activity, there is a PowerPoint that goes with it, and you need the PowerPoint to do the activity. The digestive system activity, you need to use the internet and do a little bit of research to do that. You might be able to find some of the information in the textbook as well, but you need to go a little bit beyond the textbook for that one. Okay, again, if you have any troubles with anything, I know some of you boys have said that you've had trouble printing stuff off. Don't panic if you can't print worksheets off. Even if you just do a copy of the worksheet by hand or do the tasks on the worksheet in your exercise book, that's enough. If you can print the sheets off, great, it makes it easier for you, but if you can't, don't panic if you can't. Alright, as long as you let me know that you had trouble printing stuff out, that's not a problem at all, boys. Okay, if you've got any questions about anything, as always, give me a message on Show My Homework and I'll get back to you as always. Have a good one, boys. Stay safe.